Jay, I can hear your accent in that post. How's that possible? So I was like, that's because I write the way I speak. Let me ask you this, have you been creating content on Instagram, but you just feel like people are either not reading your content at all, or they're skipping through it, or they're not taking your call to action, or they're flat out just like scrolling past your content and you are getting the reach, but you're not getting the actual engagement? If so, then be sure to watch this video all the way until the end, because I'm going to share with you the 5 different strategies to help you write better captions for Instagram so you can finally attract your ideal audience and also convert them into a paid customer. So welcome back to my channel, Jelena Ostrovska here from JelenaOstrovska.com. If you are new and we've never met before, then welcome. Super excited to see you here. If you want to keep watching these kind of videos all about social media, content creation, coaching, and entrepreneurship, then be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Consider subscribing and hit the bell sign to get notified when the new video goes live, which is every single week on Tuesdays and Fridays, so sometimes 3 times a week if we get lucky. So let's get right into this. When it comes to Instagram captions, there's some people that believe that you do need to write a lot, or you need to have, a short caption, or you need to have a long caption. We are going to talk about this, but it doesn't matter the length until you actually have a hook. So you need to have a strong hook that's actually going to make people stop scrolling. And honestly, I will add one more thing to this that I haven't really planned on talking, but you also want to make sure that your image is catchy. I don't mean that you have to go and do a whole photo shoot, but your image does need to be quality. Your image does need to, evoke some kind of emotion. It does need to either be a quality photo, or it does need to be a stop scroll worthy image, if you know what I'm talking about, right? Because we're all scrolling through the feed so much that some content we just don't even pay attention to. So you need to create something that's going to make people stop scrolling. So you do need to understand your audience, but you need to write the hook, because when you create an Instagram caption, you generally only have like a couple of letters to catch your audience in order for them to click see more, right? So your whole caption isn't really showing for people. You just have this small little piece. So you want to write a good headline. So it needs to be something, stop worthy, right? So, and I'll show a couple of examples around the screen. So like, there's this one that I wrote that did really well, and this one that did really well. So, and if you're not following me on Instagram, by the way, then in this screen, you're going to see my handle. So you can definitely connect with me. Feel free to shoot me a message. I will be more than happy to connect with you. But you do need to write a good hook. Now, the second thing is, we already touched on this a little bit. So how long should be your caption? Now that you hook your audience, how should you keep them reading more? Now, there are some people who say, oh, I'm only going to write short captions and I'll be just fine. And there are some people who only write long captions. Now, you do need to have a mix of both, in my personal opinion, because I've tested short captions, I've tested long captions. Here's the deal. If you suck at writing, start with short captions. Just start writing down something, right? So just get into the practice. Also, learn how other people are writing. And also, the other thing that I also do want to mention that I have something special coming up is the Content Empire course that I have been considering launching for ages. So it's finally about to come to the screen next to you. So if you want to get updates on when it goes live, then just go check the description box for the content calendar that looks like this. So this is a free calendar that should still be available as of the recording of this date. So I really hope that once you get there, it's still going to be a freebie that you can download and check it out. Maybe I'm going to pull it, maybe I'm not, so who knows, but check it out. And that's also going to put you on my email list, so you get updates on when the Content Empire drops next to the email near you. Now, if you're just starting out and you have 100 followers or less, or a little bit more, if you have less than 1,000 followers on Instagram, test out shorter captions in the beginning. See how your audience responds, and then as you start building the relationship, as you start connecting with more people, start expanding on your content. That's kind of what I did early on Facebook. So I was always posting short captions because I just sucked at writing, right? So I just got myself to practice, and as I practiced more and more and more, as I practiced actually talking to my audience, voice to voice on the phone, on videos, on, you know, voice messenger, things like that, you know, then I got myself better at actual writing. So, however, I will say this, once you have an engaged audience that likes you, knows you, and trusts you, you can pull off long captions. And there are some people whose captions are really, really long, which Instagram does cap it at a certain number, right? And even on Facebook, you kind of don't have the limit. You can write as much as you want, but generally. But I will say, once you have an engaged audience and they're not really going to care how long your content is, once you know how to hook them and once you know how to hold their attention and once they actually know you as a person. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now, tip number 3 is very simple, but that's something that I see a lot of people do not do. Some of them just don't know how to do this because Instagram is kind of catchy when it comes to breaking down the paragraphs, that's the tip number 3. Break down your paragraphs into shorter paragraphs. So I generally try to keep, 1 to 2, maybe 3 sentences per paragraph. And the reason for that is you just want the text to be easy on the eye to read. There's some people who write really long captions and it's just one big paragraph, right? So I'm personally not a huge fan of that. I know my audience is not a huge fan of that either. So you want to see with your audience, if they like a big paragraph, then try to keep it this way. I mean, if they're fine with that, by all means keep doing that. But you also may want to ask your audience, hey guys, jump on your story and ask, hey, do you like big paragraphs or do you like short paragraphs when it comes to Instagram captions? So survey your audience, see what works best for them. But generally, people do enjoy shorter paragraphs because it's easier to read. It's also good for those kind of readers who are skimmers, who are just going to skim through the entire content. And I actually did a video right here where I showed you the tool that I've been using for years at this point, and I'm still using it right now to break down the captions into smaller paragraphs for Instagram, because we all know that every single time you post to Instagram, they kind of make it tricky for you to actually break it down into paragraphs. Instagram is just being a little jerk and puts everything into one big thing. So this tool that I'm sharing in this video is going to help you how to break it down seamlessly. Okay, so tip number 4, that is something that one of my mentors and friends shared with me 5 years ago when I went to a marketing event in London. So he was teaching copywriting and I was always thinking that I can't master copywriting because English is the second language for me, right? So I'm Russian and I've always considered that copywriting would be super, super hard for me. But he said one thing that really helped me out, which is write the way you talk, right? And it's very hard for us because we always try to think about what our English teacher taught us. Honestly, screw that. Forget what your English teacher taught you. Don't forget everything completely, but when it comes to writing on social media, you don't have to be perfect. It's okay to make a mistake. Like we have spell checkers, right? So we have Grammarly and all these little tools and autocorrect, which you also have to be, watch out for that because autocorrect tends to be really, really weird sometimes. So watch out for that. But just because you have a mistake or a little grammar error or something doesn't make you less of an entrepreneur, doesn't make you less of a success. And, it just makes you more relatable as well. Because when people read through your post, yes, we're all trying to be perfect. We're all trying to be the role model for our audience. But, when you're all polished up and perfect, it doesn't mean that it makes you relatable. So what you want to do is, if you mess up, that's fine, but write the way you talk. And that's something that really taught me how to write better. And that's also something that I'm using in my captions. And people literally told me, Jay, I can hear your accent in that post. How's that possible? So I was like, that's because I write the way I speak, right? So, and as you find your voice in your industry, in your field, that's also going to help you in the future. And last but not least is you must have a call to action in your post. So I don't mean that you always have to lead to a webinar or a course, or you always have to be hard selling something. No, you just have to lead people somewhere. So if you want more engagement on your post, ask people to comment. If you want more people to save your post and actually have that shareable, savable content, ask people to save. Like in this post, it did really, really well. I specifically asked in the first line, save this post because you're going to want to come back to it later, right? And I had a lot of saves on this post. I had I'm going to show it on the screen right here. So it was a lot. Just because I told people what to do, they actually did that. And had I not done that, no one's really would have saved that post. So that's what you want to do. If you want people to check the link in your bio, tell them to do that. If you want people to, if you have a question for your audience, ask something like, hey, what's your opinion about this? You don't always have to specifically say, leave a comment down below and tell me this. No, just leave your post with a question at the end. Hey, what's your take on XYZ subject? And people are going to comment. So that's something that you want to start doing more and more and more of if you want people to engage, because a lot of the times people come up to me and they say, Jelena, I've been posting content, but nobody's really engaging, nobody's really commenting anything, I get random likes here and there. And I'm like, that's because you don't really tell people what to do. When you don't tell people what to do, they're never going to do anything. And when you actually start telling them clear directions, that's when people start acting. So there you go. That's my entire framework, the 5 steps to creating better captions on Instagram. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really gave you some clarity as far as how to create that shareable, savable content that reaches more audience and attracts more people and more quality leads and clients into your business. So if you enjoyed this, be sure to consider subscribing down below, because we always talk about social media, marketing, entrepreneurship, content creation, all things coaching. So I really hope this was valuable. Also hit the bell sign down below and like this video if you enjoyed this. And before you go, check out these 2 videos right here so you can see what it is that I do inside of my business as far as content creation. I talk a lot more about social media, Instagram, all these things. So feel free to binge watch this entire channel, as I have a lot of content over the years that I've posted. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.